Good evening. Would I be right to assume this is the number to a Ken Sable?
Yeah, that's me. But who are you?
My name is Mei Lin. I am currently working as an active attorney, and I have contacted you in order to ask several questions.
You're a lawyer? But why would a lawyer have anything to do with me? Moreover, why is it that you have my text information?
I will be answering those questions soon. However, there are some questions that I would like you to answer for me in the meantime. First, are you aware of a woman by the name of June Trost?
About June? Yeah, I know about her. We used to date a while back, but we haven't really been in contact since we split up. Something happened to her?
Yes, that would most likely be Miss Trost. 2 months prior, Miss Trost had taken a pregnancy test and was found to be pregnant.
Oh, I didn't know about that. That's good for her, right? She did say that she wanted to have kids once upon a time. Tell her I said congratulations. By how you're talking about her, I'm guessing you're her lawyer then?
I would advise against using such uninvolved language. Miss Trost is pregnant with your baby, after all.
What? You're saying that she is pregnant with my child?
Your previous girlfriend is now pregnant with your child, yes. In accordance with this, I am to inform you that you are to be entrusted with paying for child support to a total amount of up to $100,000. If you refuse to pay for this, a lawsuit will then be brought up against you.
No. Stop. Wait a minute. What are you even talking about?
I am informing you of the pregnancy of your previous girlfriend and the request for you to pay for child support. She has no desire for you two to be married and would like to just receive the child support payments, which is why she hired me, in order to facilitate the interaction between you two in a civilized manner. Ms. Trost has informed me of your contact information and informed me that this would be the most effectual way of contacting you.
No, really. Just stop for a minute. Ms. Lin, right? There is no possible way that June is pregnant with my child. I mean, we've been broken up for over 5 years now. Not even that, but the last time we even met was almost 3 years ago. I'm not even living in the same area anymore, so there is no way that we'd be able to have any contact with each other. No matter how you think about it, there is no way that I am the father of her child.
Ms. Trost is saying that you two met around 3 months ago. She's also claiming that you are the only person with which she has had any physical relations. Looking at these facts, it's certain that you are the father of the child.
It's certain? How could you have so much confidence in saying something like that?
Continuing on, you are being requested to pay $100,000 in child-rearing expenses. If you are to pay, you will have no need to sign the birth certificate, nor will you be required to have any contact with the child, should you so desire. However, if you choose to refuse payment, a lawsuit will be brought up against you, and you shall be required to legally take responsibility of the child. Of course, you will be then forced to pay for child support payments, though I am impartial as to what process would be most favorable. Due to the fees that would accrue due to going through with the case, I would suggest that you immediately pay the $100,000.
Huh. But there is no actual proof that the child is mine until they are actually born, right? If it comes to light that the child isn't mine, what will you do in order to compensate for this? If it's not my child, and yet I am forced to pay $100,000, this then becomes fraud. Could we delay these proceedings until after the birth, when we can have a DNA test to make sure that the child is indeed mine?
Huh? How could you be someone who could say something like that?
Whoa, what's with the sudden shift in tone?
All this just because you don't want to pay the money. How dare you doubt me or June? She is doing this only because she doesn't want to cause you any more trouble than is needed. She is saying that all you have to do is pay for child support. Other than that, you don't have to do a thing. Yet you say that this is some type of fraud. You're being extremely rude.
All right, Ms. Lin. Please just calm down for a minute. I am simply informing you that the information that you're telling me is strange. I have not had contact with June Trost in the past 3 years, let alone actually met her. Yet after all that time, I suddenly get a text message that says she is pregnant and I have to pay child support. Doesn't that sound just a little strange to you? Not only that, but you refuse to listen to my side of the story and only go off of what June is telling you. Also, the way that you're talking is strange. You keep on going with the assumption that if I don't pay immediately, you'll take me to court and undoubtedly win. With all of those factors, of course I'm going to assume that this could be some type of fraud.
Are you really such a heartless human being that you'd do something like that? Making a child with someone, without even as much as getting married beforehand. But then, even worse, not taking any responsibility whatsoever when it is revealed that the baby is yours. You're the worst.
Alright, I never said that I wouldn't pay, as long as it was my child. I would require much more evidence as to us actually being in contact during that time, as well as having DNA evidence that I am indeed the father of the child. If those conditions are indeed true, then I would most indeed pay what I have to. However, if I am indeed the father, why would what I am suggesting be troublesome for anyone involved?
What are you talking about, not troublesome for anyone? How do you expect June to survive without any support until the birth of your child? You haven't thought for 1 minute about June's well-being, have you? So this is what you're really trying to say? You're just making up all these excuses in order to get out of paying for what you owe? If you don't pay immediately, I will be forced to start proceedings to bring you to court.
Well, fine. Whatever then. How about we start with the court proceedings then? So please, start any paperwork that you need to file, and I will start preparing for the case as soon as I can.
Huh? What are you saying? Why would you want to go to court?
Yeah, I don't know how to deal with you. Even when I say that I will pay when there is evidence, you say that I don't plan on paying at all. Even if I hint at not paying if there isn't any evidence, you then start to treat me as if I'm not even human. How do you expect me to even talk to you then? What am I even supposed to say? So just... whatever. Start with the court proceedings. I'll be seeing you in court.
Oh, wait a minute. Maybe you should calm down a bit. Are you absolutely sure that you want to go forward with the court proceedings?
Yeah. I told you, please start with the court proceedings. This would be much more efficient than the whole running around that you're going to force me to do.
You're right. This would be much more efficient, and everything would go just as I planned. But I am a lawyer. You know that, right? Are you absolutely sure that you want to go to court against me? There aren't many scenarios where you will come out well on this case. I'm most certainly going to win this court battle. I still think it would be best for both parties involved if you were to just pay for the child support payments without going to court.
Well, I guess I should be saying the same things to you. Are you really sure you would like to go to court? I'm also a lawyer, so going to court isn't something that I am unfamiliar with.
Huh? Wait, what are you talking about?
Whether you are aware or not, I'm not sure. I have my lawyer's license, and I am working in a law firm. I may be fairly young, but I do have practical experience in many court cases. Looking at all your suspicious actions, way of talking, and frivolous accusations, I don't see how I could lose against you.
You're a lawyer?
Yes. Is there something wrong with that?
No, there is nothing particularly wrong with that. No.
By the way, Ms. Lin, I would like you to tell me the firm you represent.
The firm I represent? Well, I don't really want to tell you that.
Oh, are you possibly not part of any office? Then please tell me your lawyer registration information.
Why would you be asking any of this? How does it have any relevance to you?
Well, I'm going to research a little bit about who you are. If I have your registration information, I'll be able to tell whether you truly are who you say you are.
Are you telling me that you think I'm a fake?
This is all for safety's sake. There have been quite a lot of instances of fraud where people pretend to act as lawyers. With that, many different terms start to come into play. For example, the felony of impersonation of a lawyer, which is 1 to 3 years in prison. Then the accusing without evidence, also called criminal intimidation, which is another 1 to 5 years in prison. Then, of course, extortion, or more accurately, attempted extortion. That's another 3 to 10 years. The whole concept itself is just fraud, or in this case, attempted fraud. Again, another 1 to 5 years. All of this combined would result in 6 to 23 years in prison. Quite the heavy sentence, really. Also, of course, I would be required to inform the police and get them involved if it turns out that this was actually a case of impersonating a lawyer. So, please, I'll ask one more time. Inform me of your lawyer registration number so I can tell if what you're saying is true.
What? No, I can't tell you my registration number.
If you refuse to inform me of your registration, then I will be led to assume that you are indeed someone who is impersonating a lawyer.
All right, fine. I'll give you my registration number. My registration number is 678.
678? Are you serious? Please stop playing around with me. You know that the lowest denomination that a lawyer registration code could possibly be is 4 digits, right? Even then, only the most old guard of lawyers have those 4-digit numbers. Are you telling me that you're someone who's even more veteran than they are?
No, I'm not saying anything like that. I must have just been mistaken.
All right, let's just get everything out in the air. You aren't actually a lawyer, are you? In reality, this is actually June, isn't it?
What? No! Of course not! How dare you accuse me of something like that? I am an official lawyer! And I am the lawyer that was hired by June Trost.
No, please stop, June. This act isn't going to cut it. Honestly, it's not even convincing. There isn't a lawyer alive that would refuse to give their registration number. Not only that, but a lawyer contacting someone through text messages is already out of the question. Even if you were trying to act up with lawyer-like language, it was easy to tell it was coming from you. When you first contacted me, I kinda caught wind of it. But I just wanted to see how it would play out.
Hey! If you knew from the beginning, why didn't you just say something? Also, I never heard about you becoming a lawyer. I never knew you even went to law school. Seriously, you're the worst.
Yeah, I should be the one saying those things. How is it that my ex-girlfriend became such a con artist? Making up stories about being pregnant and getting people to pay for child support. I mean, really. You were trying to get your ex-boyfriend, who you haven't even met in 3 years, to claim child support for a child that hasn't been born. How could you have possibly thought that this would turn out in your favor?
Oh, shut up. It's true that I'm pregnant. But the father ended up running away, so I'm trying to do everything that I can in order to scrounge up enough money to live.
Now, June, I do realize that your situation is pretty desperate, and I can sympathize with that. However, what you are doing is fraud, plain and simple. As such, I have contacted the police to inform them of your actions.
Wait. You did what?
I told you a little earlier, but impersonating a lawyer is a felony. I believe I also informed you of the other charges: attempted fraud and attempted extortion. In order for you to be brought up upon your actions, I have contacted the police and given them your information so that they can make an investigation.
What? Ken, stop! Stop playing around with me! It's not funny!
You're right, this isn't funny. But I am most certainly not messing around with you. You should actually be happy that I was being calm when you had first tried to steal money from me. But the actual scary part is how you seem to have a process for all of this. I hate to think about it, but this most definitely wasn't the first time, huh? So please, when talking to the police, make sure to show as much sign of regret as you can.
Wait, you can't be serious. You're lying, right? No, I was never planning on impersonating a lawyer or anything like that. This was all for my child. I have no money and I needed a way to get a hold of something to survive. I'm being completely honest. I had no intention of doing fraud of any type.
Yeah. Well, make sure to tell that to the police. Maybe that way they can be more sympathetic and reduce the sentence. Or better yet, maybe you can somehow get off without having to go to jail. Though with your case, I don't see that being too easy. Good luck with your case. Also, please know that I will definitely not be willing to represent you. After that, June was then apprehended by police under charges of attempted fraud and extortion. She had used the same method on 3 other partners of hers and had fraudulently stolen around $400,000. Though there are other cases in precedent that had suspended sentences, in her case, she was not afforded that luxury. She was sent to jail, where she would eventually have the baby. The child was then left in care of some of her family members until she would be released. Though it seems that by the time she actually gets released, her child will already be entering elementary school. If anything, I would like for her to pay for her crimes and come out as a better person. For both her and her child.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.